everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Airbrushing for Beginners, the crushed can. Now this one is a step-by-step you can follow along. The link in the description for the artwork will be the original can, so you just get the plain can, and I've just put my logo on it and sort of added the effect as though it's dented on the actual can. Now if you wanted to follow along with the logo, I'll drop you a picture of it now so you can screenshot it and have a go at that. So that's your screenshot, and as I say, the link for the original one will be in the description. So what I'll do is I'll paint it so you can follow along to the original one, and then I'm just going to drop the text on mine at the end. So I've basically got it projected up. I started off by projecting it up to the piece of paper, penciled it out, and then I laid a piece of the pro masking over the top. Once you lay the pro masking over the top of the penciled out outline, you'll see the outlines through because the pro mask is very translucent, and then basically cut it out, remove the outer, which you can see here, we've got the outer piece, and then I've cut my logo out here, which is on there now, and I can peel them off and place the letters back in a bit later on. But what we're going to do is we're going to concentrate on the background first. Now colours, I'm using two types of paint. The main one is FW inks. We've got a black, and then what I've done is I've got a cool grey and mixed there's three different tones of cool grey. There's a darker one, a mid and a light, what you'd get straight out the bottle. I've got a blue mixed up, I've got a white, a red, and I've got some of the Wicked Smoke Black. Now the reason why I'm using Wicked Smoke Black is because it's a very translucent paint, so it's great for tinting over in like shading areas and things like that. You can just dust it on and you just get that nice tone of like transparent going over the top. Shields, I'm using my set of shields and a big curve one, which is this one. A couple of erasers, we've got an ink eraser and we've got a soft point eraser as well, so we can knock back some of the little bits on it. Not too much because this paper isn't great for knocking back and erasing on, but you can take a little bit off with this paper. The paper that I'm using is this one. It's cheap and I think it's brilliant. It's what I've been using regularly on the channel for my pieces of artwork. You can erase on it, but you've just got to do it very, very lightly. So if you put your colours down very lightly onto it, your inks, you will be able to knock it back. The reason why I like this is it's a nice sort of smooth surface and it's 300 GSM, so it's thick. So I've cut my pro mask on top of this paper and it's dead easy to do. You just nice sharp scalpel, go round, and it's thick enough to cut down to. So they're the bits. Brush, I'm still using this one at the minute. I've been using this one for the last few days. It's the Iwata HP SB Plus on a 02. Absolutely loving this brush at the minute. The reason why I like it is it's a side feed, trigger response is absolutely on point. It's got a low trigger to the body, which is really nice. You're not sitting high up, you're nice and close down to the body, so it brings your hand nice and close into the body. Comfortable brush to use, and it's just a brilliant brush, guys, it really is. So I'm using that one at the minute. Air pressure, I'm running 20 psi. How I've dialed my air pressure in, if you want to get your air pressure absolutely bang on, go over to your compressor, and on your gauge that you clip up and turn to adjust, and you see your air pressure gauge going up and down, what you do is go up to your compressor, onto that gauge, press your trigger down so you've got air like that, lift your gauge up, and then do that and turn it until you see your needle go up to 20 with your trigger pressed, then clip your compressor gauge down and that will lock it to 20 psi, so you won't get any drop. So a nice running pressure. Test piece to the side, same paper as what you are using, because then you will see what your paint is going to lay down like on the paper that you're actually working on. I think I've covered it all. Let's move the camera in and let's crack on with this step by step. Right guys, the first colour I've sort of got is a blue. Now you can do the background whatever colour you want really. I don't suppose it really matters. You could do another coloured background, but as you see on that image to the side, the one we're working on, the bottom of the can just here, you've got a reflection. So whatever colour you do the background, say you wanted to do it like a bright orange, you'd have to put that reflection. You see on the bottom of the can here, you've got the blue coming up where it's reflecting. So just remember that you just got to put that reflection going up, the colour that you do in the background. So I'm going to start off on the top piece here and just do a pass over the top. I'm going lighter to this side, so you've got a little bit more white showing. So a little bit less paint. Back off with your brush, minimal trigger, leave this pass here sort of light, and then just start to come in with a little bit of colour around the side of the can here. Just dust that in. And just do a little bit more around here. And the bottom. Go a little bit more here. Just going to put a light pass down first, and we'll build this up. Just do a light pass. Like that. Tinting over this bit here, just very lightly. Like that. All right, I'm going to mix some more. So I'm putting basically at near about half a cup in. And then I'm dropping a drop of black in it. A couple of drops of black, just to darken it off. Bubble back. You want to mix it in your cup, just bubble back. Test it to the side. All right, we're going to go back in on the top. I'm just going to darken this. You've got a dark edge here on the edge. And just look at your reference and darken it where it needs to go. On the top edge here. Around here. Bring that down this way a bit more. Like that. A little bit around here. So on this part of the can here, you've got like a shadow area. So I'm just going to put that in place with this blue for a start. And just darken this area off here. Like that. Mix a little bit more paint up. Same again, half a cup. And now I'm going to drop a few more drops of black in and really darken this one off. And then just come down on this bit here. Just do a dark pass in here. I've got this edge here. Can drop that in with a shield. Just that little sharper bit there. And that starts going into a darker shadow underneath the can. Just drop that in there. Like that. I'm going to go a bit darker on this. And on this bit here, this is more of a straight, it's a crisper line, so just hold your shield up. And just sharpen that up. Need to do more mix. You'll soon get through your paint. Back bubble it. Come in here again. There's a little bit lighter here. Do a pass on that. I'm just going to go a little bit darker in here. Like that. Take a little bit more at the top, a bit more paint. Mix again with the black. So you're just bouncing with that first blue, and you're just toning it down with a little bit of black. A little bit more darker up here. Going to come off the edge of the can here and just do a little, just do a light pass. Back down to this bit, drop a little bit more in. Around here. Just build it up light and just keep an eye on your reference. Just here we've got a little sort of reflection coming this way, a little sharper line. So I'm just going to kick that out there. Just a little, like that. That'll do. A little bit more around here. Like that. It's going to come out a little bit more. So I'm just going to drop a little bit more of a tone here. A bit more on here. So we've got that bit in. Now I'm going to go in with, just going to go in with a black on this. Just drop just darken this out here. Coming up to the edge of this bit of the can here. Keep it dark to the edge of the can on your masking, and as you move further away with the brush this way, just lighten it off, back off with your brush. I don't want to put too much of this black down, only close up. Back off slightly. I think we're about there. We've got this little shadow here, but I don't want to use black for that. I'm going to swap the colour up, just a little clean out with the brush, because I've been using a few mixes of paint. Just give your brush a little clean out, a bit of cleaner. And because we've not been using full cups, it's a little bit easier to clean out. Little blast through. I'm going to now drop onto the smoked black. A few drops. Pull it through and get this drop shadow in here. This little shadow. Just flick that out. Nice and light. Backing off with the brush, you can see the distance I'm with the brush. You start in here because it's at its darkest point. This is very thin. And just flick outwards. Like that. Just I'm going to do a little bit of that under this edge here. Just coming around here. Like that. Do a little pass of this on here. Like that. And I think that's your background in. I'm just going to drop a little bit of that in this bit here. Just change the tone of that down in here. Like that. Just going to do a little pass of that. There's a little colour change just in here. I'm just going to tint over the top of that blue with this. That'll do for the background. We could go a little bit darker here, but I think I'm going to go with that. I think that's good to go with that. We could drop a little bit more blue later on. So now what we can do is let your paper dry off. And then we're going to put the mask in on the outside and cover the background up, because we now want to work and contain on this area. Contain, no pun intended. Work on this bit. So we're going to shield that back bit off. So the mask that you've cut out, the pieces, which are here, you want to relocate these back on over your can. Like that. Try not to press down too hard with your Pro Mask. Just nice and light. You're not going to press hard, just nice and light with that. Just try and level it up the best you can. That'll do. Keep your silicone paper. What I do is I put a bit of masking tape, rolled up masking tape over the back, and then just pin that to the side somewhere. You can pin it on the wall next to you or somewhere. Because now what we're going to do is we're going to remove this piece. Now when you see me remove this piece, the letters, my letters will be cut out, well they should be. I missed a bit there. Missed quite a few pieces. I've not cut that either. And I cut that little piece out there as well. So I'm just going to put that to the side. And then take these off. Now if you're doing the original can, you won't have this bit. Just stick them back on your silicone paper. Like that. And now we can work on the can, and you've not got to worry about the background getting all messed up with your other colours. Right, we're going to go straight in with a clean brush. Make sure your brush is nice and clean. I'm going to go in with a grey. Just test that to the side, pull it through. Now we're just going to go really lightly on this and just start to work in with the grey. A light grey. Nice and loose. See how light that is? Backing off with the brush, just puffing a little bit of paint in. Like that. Do a little bit on here, coming up on this angle here. On this bit here. I'm just following the way them shadows are going, I'm just painting that way, like that, like that. That angle there is going out in sort of that triangular motion, so you're just flicking upwards. I'm going into the logo because I'm going to drop my logo on top. Like that. I've got the piece coming up here. So nice and light. On this line here, I'm just doing a line. Like that. Piece at the top here. Up to the edge of the mask. Just do a line. Like that. This piece coming down here. It's going to go a lot darker, but I'm just putting this tone in behind, like a base colour. Just keeping it nice and light. Like that. Bring that up just through the X, the F, this bit here. And onto this shadow coming up here. Just keeping this one light because the next tone will go darker. Same here. And this is the bit I'm on about where if you was doing a different colour background, this is the bit where you can see that colour changing here and here. There's a little bit in here as well. I'm just going to go in with a light pass of grey first. Just over that, tint over that. Same here. I'm going to go this way now. Start shading this way. And this little bit of shadow here. Moving on to this one here. Keeping it nice and light. Moving up to coming around the top of the can, a little bit darker here. Dagger strokes, flicking dagger strokes like that. So you're coming round, following the shape, and then just dust a little bit over the top. There's a darker one here. Like that. Moving on to this inside of the can here. You've got dark here. Just going to drop a tone in. Dagger strokes, just half moon flicking round and ending your soft edge here. Bring that round, keeping it light. Highlight piece here. Just try and leave as much of the white of the paper as you can. Move to this side. Start to tone it in. Like that. On this piece here, just start to put a tone in. Backing off with the brush, you're just puffing the paint and just filling this in. We've got a little bit of blue in here as well. We're going to drop it in a bit, just tint over. Put a pass around there. This piece here, I'm going to go darker on this. Just start to work this in, the ring pull. Just do some passes of grey, little dark squiggles. And this bit in here, that's basically a darker pass. Like that. A little bit more around there. Right, we've got that in. Just go around and double check you've got like that sort of first tone in. I'm just going to hold the shield up on this one, just run that. Put that line in there, just sharpen that one up there a little bit. A little bit more in here. Flicking up there, a bit around the edge of the darken it a little bit more there. Coming in here, we'll sharpen this up. A bit more of a line. This next one, sharpen that up a bit. Like that. Tone that in there. Sharpen this one here. Like that. Come back on this side of this one and just sharpen that up. Next one to that, just slightly sharpen it up. Like that. just going to want a little darker edge flicking up here. Just round here. And that down here. Like that. A little bit more grey. Darken this in here a bit more. Like that. We've got this sort of bit here. Just fog that in there. Coming up. We're going to go a little bit sharper on this one here. Just from around about there, halfway to here. Let that fade down. Like that. Shield. You're just working around in this one tone, so we've gone in light with it, and now we're just building it up. Same colour, just building it up. Just darken that one out a bit, like that. Put a few little lines in here. Shield this edge of the can here, so you're just putting this lip in around here. Like that. A few little lines coming up there. Same here. Just nice and light again. Bit there. Just sharpen this one up here. Like that. Just continue that across a bit. Just coming onto this edge. And that little rim of the coat down there. Just go a little bit darker in this bottom corner. Little kick there. Back onto this bit. Shield. Just darken this off here. Bring that little line up best you can. Like that. Just follow that around. Like that. Darker past coming over here. Just start to tint it back. If you go light and just slowly build it up, you'll be all right. A bit more here. Little lines and stuff in here. Right, so we got to that stage. I'm going to put a little bit more down here. Just fog over these edges, like that, a little bit here. Just coming up here. Bring that up into the D part there. Take a little bit more shading through here. Like that. Right, we're going to get that back to that blue. Original blue. Pull that through. Do a little kick there, a little bit there, a little bit in here. Here. Right, now we've got a little bit of blue here. I'm just going to drop a little bit here and down here. It's going to go a lot darker in here. Right. Got some of the smoke black next. Just going to start to tint over this with the smoke black. Run that up there, that one to there, then we've got a darker one here, coming in. And run that over the letters. A little bit more in here. A little bit. Darker in here. A bit more smoke black. A little bit up to that edge, coming round here. Like that. On this edge here. Put some little darker passes and lighter passes in this. Like that. Just working around with the smoke black. Very thinned out mix this is. It looks like we've got like a tint of like a brown edge in there. When you zoom in, like a dirtier type edge. So we'll drop that colour in a minute. Bring that round there. Bring a bit more in here. Let's build that up a bit. Going around, you're just going around the same bits that you're putting in, just darkening bits off and right. And get the eraser and just knock out any pencil lines. This is a soft eraser. If you just work it light, you'll be able to knock back the pencil lines and the ink will stay there. You'll create a little sort of texture in this bit here. Get the other eraser, get the harder eraser. Just create a little texture in here. I'm going to drop that real bright highlight in with the Posco. It's like a little line, like that. There's a little pinpoint one here. Back on with the eraser, just take that a little bit further. Just brightening areas up. Into there. Go a lot darker around here. This is where you'll see when you go to get your drop your highlights in, you'll realise that you need to go darker. When you see a bright highlight, you'll try and get it, and it won't be dark enough either side of that highlight. If you ever see a bright highlight, there's always dark around it to make that highlight pop. So then you can know you just bounce back into your colour. And I've just bent the needle on the Iwata. Dear, badly bent the needle on the Iwata. I just dropped out the hanger and totally destroyed the needle of the Iwata. One destroyed Iwata in seconds. Let's move that. Nightmare. Yeah, it's not even, I think it's done the nozzle as well. I was really enjoying painting with this brush. I thought, right, I'm not going to pick an H&S up because I'm sick of picking them up. Really am. I'm digging the eye waters at the minute. No, that's gone. Right, let me go and grab another brush. And we're picking up the Mobius. Let's pick the Mobius up. 02. Pull it through, job done. Right, we can crack on. New needle and nozzle for the eye water. It's so simple to do, guys, it really is. Especially with them hangers, if you've got a side feed, they can be a nightmare. Just going to drop a few darker tones in here. Just do some little... Got some like little speckles on the can here. This is nice to work with. The Mobius, it really is. It's got a really soft trigger, and that's what I like about it. And you can adjust the pressure here. Set this down dark in this crease area here. Lovely brush. Cheap. It's cheaper than that eye water that I've just picked up. The eye water's over the 200 bracket. This is around, what, 80 quid? Can't go wrong, guys. It can't go wrong. Does the job. And does it very well. A little bit more of a tone in there. Right, back onto this bit, round here. Like a reflection here of the ring pull bit. It's just blurry lines. Get the shield for that. Do a little sharper edge there. going with some black on that bit. Use the shield just to sharpen some edges up. Then you get bits like that where your shield gets covered in paint and you touch the side. Fill that in. Like that. A little bit darker on this bit. Ooh. See that? You're going to get it, guys. You get things like this happen where the needle slightly sits back, moves. Press the trigger and the paint instantly comes out when it's really thin. Could do that with a shield. I'm going a little bit dark here. I can't believe I've destroyed the eye water needle. Nightmare. I'm just going to line that a bit more here. Make this a little bit darker. Coming down there. Yeah, I think we're about there on that bit. A little bit darker in here. Along that edge. Some more tones in here. Darken this up a bit in here. There's always a shape that you're after with the shield and you never got it. All we have. Dark darken this out here. Put some tone in here, kind of pop some highlights out. Just make that ring ball stand out a little bit more. Darken it off a bit. Give it a little bit more. Just darken it out a bit. A little bit more. Like that. Right, we've got like a brown colour. In this little crease edge here. Let's find a brown. That'll do. A little tint of it. In that crease. A little bit there as well. A little bit in there. A few little lines in there. And drop a little tint of that on the edge. And here. see it now. Now I'm looking, I can just see them little tints of that colour on this. On that. A little bit on there. Like that. Right, we'll have some erasing and just knock back a couple of, we need to go darker in here. A couple of bits back. Hopefully we are still recording. I just turned around and looked at the camera and it had stopped, so hopefully I've caught enough for you. Right, I'm going to drop my logo bit back on here. Hopefully get it in the right place. That seems about right. Yeah, that'll do. Get the inners of the letters. And that. Drop them on. Like that. Just go for a red. Pull that through and just start to shade it and look at the shading that you've got underneath. Shade it the same way, so follow them shadow lines that have That's not bad. Go a little bit darker on that. It's not bad, it's not great. Let's go back in now with a smoke black. Give that brush a good clean. Tint over again with that. A bit more there. Need to dry that back a bit. Like that. A few more bits in here. A bit more here. In with the Posca. Pump some highlights out again. Little bits. Right, we'll demask the outer. If it's going to come off, take a look. As I say, if you're working, you can see how this is just pulling it. Just little white dot speckles where it's pulling it up. That's the masking where it's warm, it's gripping. It's pulling the paper. Right, we need to get this darkened here where the masking is slipped. here. Darker in here. Like that. That'll do. You can see how I built that up, just sort of nice and light, just building it up. And we got it down. Not looking too bad. Tint that down a bit, that shadow under here. And there we go, guys, that'll do. There you go, we got it down. I destroyed an eye water airbrush in the process. So it's a new needle and nozzle, it's completely hammered it. And that was literally just taking it out the hanger. It grabbed hold of the loop hanger with the side cut, went like that, and then it went bang straight into the tail and just bent the needle completely over into the brush, which was a nightmare. But the Mobius saved the day. The cheap Mobius on a 02 finished the picture off. So we got it down in the end, guys. If you was working on like illustration sheet or synthetic paper, you could get this looking really, really photorealistic. You know, you could really transition them sharps and you get your highlights brighter, because we can't do loads of erasing on this. We've done a little bit. We're using like the Posca paint pen to try and punch the highlights out and things like that. But we got it down looking like the reference, and that's what it's about. It's about having a go at these different sort of challenging pieces and objects, painting objects, because when you do pieces of artwork, if you wanted to introduce objects into it, like a dented can or like the metal splatter that we did in the last video, they're the sort of ways you go about it. That sort of way going around it and achieving it. But as I say, if you're doing it on sort of a smoother surface where you can just take it that little bit further each time, but that's how you go about it with the masking. And they're the colours we use to drop the logo in. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Hope I caught enough, because I've turned around and the camera was sort of stopped and I was like chatting away, turned around and it had froze. So you may have a bit of a jump in there, but I hope I caught as much as I can. Drop your comments, tell me your thoughts. Like, shares, it all helps the channel grow, guys. Enjoy it, that's the main thing. And don't bend your needle. See you in the next one.